Today we've got a bunch of Marshalls, one of which I don't know how to work, so Joe's going to show me. Hey guys and girls, welcome to Zilla Cabs. Today's video, we've got a bunch of Marshalls that we've got in the workshop. The top one is Joe's Vintage Modern, which I've had troubles with in the past. We've got our Silver Jubilee, which I haven't spent enough time with.
And neither of us have really.
No, and this the Super Lead JCM800, which not many people know about, but that was my first amp, so we're going to give that a blast. Again, an amp that I don't use enough, but we're going to have some fun with that. I've had one of these amps before and instantly didn't like it and didn't spend enough time with it.
Right.
And Joe has one. He leaves it at work, and I've never bothered touching it because I couldn't be bothered because I thought they sounded rubbish. And then I heard him playing it the other day in his lunch break, and it sounded great. And then I felt really bad, and really inadequate. So we're gonna go through. How about I plug in and play something, and you get me a good sound?
Yeah, sure, cool. Right, so we haven't set up the knobs at all or anything yet. We'll just turn it on and see how it's sounding.
That sounds good.
I think this amp does like cleans and light breakup really well.
Yeah.
But if you haven't used one of these before, it's a bit of a weird one to set up because the key to it is using the detail and the body knobs. And the way I understand it is they're like on an old Plexi when you jump between the low and high volumes, like on this one. Basically, that's the same thing as that. So.
Okay, so what we'll do with this later is I'll patch lead between them and plug straight into one, so that's the same kind of
similar thing, yeah. So if you just play a few chords, I'll show that. Yeah, so it's about balancing between those two and then EQing after that, I think. So once you've got those in a place you like them, then go into the EQ.
Cool. So
it's a case of moving these back.
Oh, so that is literally like pushing your amp. And
yeah.
You're gonna get some. So if we go into like a mild break.
Maybe a bit more body on that one.
That sounds nice.
Cool. And handily, this amp's got like a reverb built in as well. It's not a spring reverb. It's just like don't know, a hall or something. I guess like a don't know. Like a lot of Marshalls, I think you've got to run the bass really high. I usually find that with Marshalls. I don't know about you, but
yeah, not quite as much as
not
you
as
do.
Much as me.
Joe backs the treble off loads.
Yeah.
And keeps the presence. I was messing around with this amp earlier, and I kind of found the presence doesn't do a massive amount.
Not a great deal. I usually just have it off, to be honest.
Yeah. I normally keep the presence relatively low. Though that reverb sounds really nice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's not a massive like. It's not like a Fender Spring where it just like takes over the sound. It's just a nice subtle thing to have in the background. So.
Cool. A bit of dirty. Straight away, I'm loving that. Yeah,
pretty aggressive.
I like that. Cool. Oh, we haven't said in the cab itself. In the cab, it's a pair of Greenbacks.
Yeah.
We dug out a pair of old blackback H's with the 55 hertz cone, which I was really excited about, and the one didn't work.
Yeah.
One didn't work so bad that when we disconnected it, it made the other speaker sound. It was rattling and buzzing. So a brand new pair of Greenbacks, just the standard M Greenbacks.
Yeah, sound great.
That does sound class. I'm just going to drop tune now, go down to D, because that's where I normally play it. And here we go.
Cool.
It's maybe a little bit more aggressive than I normally go for, but I reckon a bit of tweaking. That's yeah. So I don't know what the hell I was doing.
When you start looking at an amp, the first place you usually go to is just the EQ, isn't it? But I think with this amp, you really got to get those two set right first.
I think the trouble is, I found I was messing around with this for 5 minutes before, so I didn't go in cold.
Cheating.
Yeah. And it's quite easy to get some mushy, sort of muddy sounds, I reckon, with these.
Yeah, I'll show you that.
So
I'll grab this guitar.
When Joe was saying do these first and then EQ, that's kind of opposite of how I'd normally do it. Or I'd do it kind of mixing between the two. So the one I had as well was 110 volt and it'd been converted over, so I don't know if that made a difference.
Oh, right.
It's probably me.
Could be. So this guitar's in C sharp.
Pretty heavy, but it's still got a fair bit of bite to that.
Yeah, right. So we, the band I used to be in, Hark, we used this, well, I used this as my sort of main sound on the recording of that album, so...
Plays a couple of riffs.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty beefy.
Yeah, so the conclusion I'm drawing about this is I just didn't know how to use it. I think it sounds class. It sounds great, and they're pretty cheap as well.
You can pick them up pretty cheap, and you don't see them around so much. People use them as much as like 800s and stuff, but all the sounds are in there, I think. So
when I sold mine, I practically couldn't give it away.
Really?
I think it was like 250 or something.
Yeah,
maybe a bit less.
A lot of amp.
I mean, for a valve amp, you can't go wrong there, really. Right, next up, this bad boy. The first thing I did when I was plugging this in is make sure the volume's down, because this thing is so loud.
Yeah, real
Both
loud.
volumes down.
Right.
Before you turn it on.
That's my guitar volume in full.
And the amp's off.
Yeah. Quite translate over the microphone, but it's still pretty loud in here.
Yeah, it's quite. So what I've done, it's not two channels, it's sort of two inputs. One's high, one's low, one's a bit worse. One's bassier than the other. Well, they're all different actually. So we've bridged between the two. It's quite a common way of doing it, and then you can blend the two. If you want to start playing, I'll start twiddling.
So direct, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, I like that. Yeah. It's shaking my nuts with the seat, and it's on less than one. The Greenback itself is quite a quiet speaker. So
what do you mean by that?
Sorry, the sensitivity is it's essentially less efficient. So you put a certain amount of power in, and it makes the perceived sound is lower. So it's, to our ear, it sounds quieter.
Compared to other speakers.
Compared to other speakers. So essentially, if you have that speaker in here and a vintage 30 next to it, and you've got the same signal going through, the vintage 30, measure that 1 watt 1 meter is 3 dB higher, so it just sounds louder. And then as you push the amp, the difference can be noticeable.
Which is helping us out a bit here, because having this less efficient speaker is
yeah. Basically, that makes our job. I would normally say slightly easier, because it's not attenuates it, but it brings the sound level down a bit. But it's so loud. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah. Really warm sound. Really clean. You're going to be hard pushed to get that low breakup with these things, because
this is 100 watts, isn't it? I think so.
I think this.
So this is a 1959, isn't it? So this is like what Hendrix used. Yeah, essentially. It's in a different box.
Yeah, it's 100 watts. All right, what you need to do with these amps is you need to drive them. Use an overdrive. I used to use a Shredmaster.
Right.
The older Marshall, like the Governor.
Yeah. Cool.
I used to love that. This was my first amp. This £320 for the head with a 4x12 in white.
Such a mad first amp to have, isn't it? Like most people have like a little 10-watt combo.
Yeah, I made my mum drive me round, and we put it in like a 106. That was back in the day when that was quite an acceptable thing to do, late 90s. So I used to use the Shredmaster with it.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Shredmaster here, but I absolutely love the Thorpy. I always get this name wrong. Peacekeeper. So we're just going to drive it with that, cool. And I'm going to get Joe to play, and I'm going to twiddle some stems in.
Cool. Class. Yeah.
Sat here. It's hard to explain with. I say this about 4x12s and 2x12s a lot. When you go up to more speakers, you don't necessarily get many more, qualities when you're micing and stuff like that. But it's just this feeling of power. I don't even know what the. You say power. We're not running it hard at all.
No, this is just taking over for this.
But it's just like this feeling you get. Yeah. It just shakes you. It gets.
Yeah, it's perfect for those big ringy chords, isn't it?
Yeah. That to me is kind of classic Marshall.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think.
Yeah, totally.
I was having to find that as you brought the boost in, having to kind of adjust the lower frequencies and the kind of brightness. It's a weird amp for that. Normally you'd have you'd be doing the brightness is that word with the presence, but on here you kind of got to juggle between them. I kind of almost use the input one as a kind of a bright.
Yeah, that's similar to what we were doing with this amp.
Yeah.
So like they call it detail and body. So you got the input 1 is the high frequency, isn't it? And 2 is the low.
Yeah.
Yeah. So similar sort of thing there with detail and body.
Yeah, which is even more embarrassing as to why I couldn't get that to work. All right, cool. We'll push the gain up.
Yeah.
Cool, I like that.
Yeah. There's so much headroom in this amp as well.
Yeah.
It just swallows up pedals.
Yeah. Cool. You can mess around with the different inputs here. I tend to find go straight into one. Up there is just a bit too much for me. I
can get a bit ice picky, can't it?
It can, yeah. So I I'll be honest, I'd nearly always just set it up like this.
How have we got the dial set up there?
I've rolled presence right down. I've put the bass up because I know you like it. Treble. To be honest, I'd normally go. I know you take a lot of treble out. I'd normally go probably, what we have 3 or 4, and I'd normally use the presence and this the volume 1 to sort out my kind of bright and treble. And then the mids I just bung a little bit more than halfway.
It's like there's a couple of ways to get treble out of a Marshall rather than the treble knob.
It's you're going to find that with this amp, which is sometimes I haven't spent enough time with this amp, and it's that when it's like a tweaker's amp, isn't it?
Yeah.
You move one thing and you're constantly. I mean, you're constantly getting cool sounds out of it, but I think this isn't as bad as that. I use the pedal a lot as well to fine tune things.
I mean, you can get breakup out of these amps, but you'll need to be in another postcode.
You need to be in a different building. Now they do sound class when you push them, and you'd be surprised that they're not unbelievably louder. But it still is really loud. It's too much for me.
Yeah.
A lot of people use them with like a power break, attenuator to bring them down. Right, pass me the lead. I'm not letting you have a Right, it's your turn now. You get me a sound.
Okay. Why don't we take a look at the Shredmaster?
That's a good idea. All right, we've got the Shredmaster, which was I'm going to say my first pedal. It wasn't. It was my second pedal. My first pedal was a Zoom 505.
Oh, right.
It was good, 99 quid. It was all right.
There's a lot of people's first pedals around that time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think I would just came into gear at such a good time. That year, I bought a Fender Flame for £320.
I like
It's very similar to that.
Like the Fender with humbuckers. Like
Robin Ford uses them.
Yeah.
They've got loads of names. Esprit, is it?
Oh yeah,
Elite as well.
Yeah,
and stuff. I call it the Fender Flame. This with a 412 for 320 quid. Shredmaster for 40.
Right.
They're going on like for 200 quid on eBay now. Blues Breaker. They were selling them cheap because no one was buying them.
Right.
The Blues Breaker, the Drive Master, and the Shredmaster. They were all £40, so I bought those up.
So the Shredmaster was your choice there.
Yeah, it's quite an ironic name for my playing
style. I wasn't getting that.
Is that where you were going?
No.
Right, I'm going to get Joe to dial me in sound. I picked one of these amps up in the summer. Like you always do when you're a player, you get skin and sell gear. That happened to me about 10 years ago. So I flogged my amp. I saw another one of these in London quite cheap. So I picked it up. I dug my old Shredmaster out of my mum's garage, and when I went, I remember the settings. I don't know why. I just remember the settings, so I put them in, and I wasn't too keen on them. But then when I tweaked, I guess my playing just changed. But yeah, go at, do your worst. One thing you do stress if you're using these amps. When you're turning pedals on, you really have to make sure, like your volumes and stuff, go down and then up, because you're going to kill someone with this thing. I'm just going to pull a bit of bass off here. I think that's going to...
Cool.
I think that's... On that one, what I used to do is I used to have the contour really high and the gain a bit low, and that's pretty much where I went to what you did when I came back to it.
Yeah, I got the contour low there.
Yeah.
So
I used to have the presence on the amp quite high.
Right.
But then I found pulling the contour down and the presence. There we go.
Let's have a go on that sound.
One other thing, it's a little bit hard for us to get. We normally, when you're dialing in sounds, you wouldn't be sat like this with the speaker. You tend to be getting a little bit more bass from where we are. So. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd put the presence up a bit more for you there.
Right.
Yeah, I love that one. I think all in all, I kind of prefer the Peacekeeper, but a bit of nostalgia getting the Shredmaster out.
Yeah, totally. Check out the paint job as well. Look at that.
That's why I don't drink anymore. Cool. Right, next up, Silver Jubilee.
Right, we'll just start with the knobs straight up, I guess, because I'll be honest, I don't really know what I'm doing with the Silver Jubilee that well.
No, neither do I. That's why I'm playing first.
Right, so we've got all the knobs, all the EQs straight up, master on 0. Let's see what happens. Right, so I think we're on the lead channel there, are we? So if
well, I thought it only had lead on when it was pulled out.
Rhythm. So
oh, there we go. No,
right.
It's clean when it's pulled out.
So I think it's clean when you got the master out.
My experience of these is they're quite bright amps.
So I think like a lot of Marshalls, I think is it the treble bleed cap or something it's called. If you crank the input gain up, then you get a lot more bottom end coming through.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think if we hear. got your back to the camera.
That's pretty bright, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to be the cleanest amp in the world, is it?
No, it's not. I think the key there is to watch out for the bright and the treble there. Do you want to see what it's like with your Strat?
Yeah. Strat. Yeah.
That sounds really cool. With the lower output pickups, it's not driving it.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why I never think of Strats with these, but
Yeah.
John Frusciante plays one, doesn't he? But,
Oh, right, yeah, of course. Yeah.
all right, a bit more gain.
Cool.
It's got a lot of balls to it there.
Yeah. sweet.
I like that. It's got a nice kind of thud to it.
Yeah.
But without being as like almost overwhelming as this.
Right. So I think they're all similar flavours, aren't they? But they're definitely different beasts.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this is going to sound stupid, but you definitely know you're playing a Marshall with massive.
When it says that on the front.
My favourite's probably still this,
but
I'm definitely going to spend a bit more time playing the Silver Jubilee, because that was sounding really cool then, and I want to put into that as well because it sounds cool. And that was, I'm glad we did this because I don't hate this now.
It's a real aggressive sound amp, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it did. I mean, you dialed in some that was kind of, I really like that sound. Cool. Nice and aggressive, but with some still full bodied. Right. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well,
what do we say?
Alright, well, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. This for us was
just a bit of
fun.
A
bit of fun. It's Saturday morning. I dragged Joe into work because I wanted to play guitar. But yeah, it's they're all similar amps in certain ways. They definitely give that Marshall vibe, but very different beasts in other ways. You're like, I don't know, you're always going to need a drive for that, but you didn't for these. I know a lot of guys boost them, use like a tube screamer as well. Right. Yeah. I don't know if I would, but I like these just straight out.
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
they're really
definitely.
Cool. It's just talking shit now. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you had as much fun as we had making it. This video was always going to be like a little journey down Marshall Lane. We just dug out 3 amps that we've got in that we don't use as much as we should. Yeah. I'm glad we did because I really never liked this amp, and I do now. Yeah. I think it's really cool. I'm not saying it's the first one I plug in, but it's
got a wide range of sounds to it, and I think the aggressive sound of it is
that sounded really cool. Yeah. Very vintage, but also quite modern. Okay. All right, thanks for watching the video. I hope you had as much fun watching it as what we did filming it. It's always good to come in on the Saturday morning and play some Marshalls, so we had a good time. We've got loads of cool videos coming up, so make sure you subscribe and check out what we're up to.